I was recently in Columbus, Ohio, so I wanted to go see Leatherlips Monument in Dublin, Ohio. Dublin is right next to Columbus. I was just 11 miles away from the monument, so me and my sister and my niece, we went and we checked out Leatherlips Monument. We also saw his grave. The grave and the monument are close to one another, but they're not right next to one another. So you do have to drive for a few minutes from the monument to get to the grave. We did not go up to the grave, we just drove past it because the grave is on the side of the road. You can go up to the grave, but to do that, you have to park your vehicle a little bit a ways from the grave and then walk alongside the road and then walk up some steps that lead up to the grave. So we just drove past it. And that was still really neat for me to see. Even if it was just us driving past it, it was still really neat for me to see. Out of all of the people that I've covered thus far on my podcast, Leatherlips is the only person whose grave I will probably get to see in person. Because most of the people that I've covered on the podcast, to see their grave, if their grave is even known, I would have to get on a plane and travel to another continent to go see the grave. But with Leatherlips, he lived in my home state, and the monument and his grave are driving distance from my house. Granted, it's a bit of a drive from my house to the monument and to the grave, but you can get there and it's not going to take all day to get there. So that was really cool for me to experience, to see the monument and the grave of someone that I've researched and talked about on my podcast. And if you are ever in that area, I recommend you checking out the monument and checking out the grave. And if you haven't already, I recommend you listening to the episode that I did on Leatherlips on my podcast History Shelf, because I think Leatherlips is a fascinating figure in history.